and welcome to a very special video. Today we're going to talk about the new Custodes Your Questions Answered, the Coward article in which Games Workshop put out many hours after their live stream, where they didn't talk about female custodes and used gender neutral language, which feels like some kind of like caution tape I need to be careful of. And then they did the same with their articles immediately after that by just avoiding the question altogether. And then they waited till probably the vast majority of people looked at it and stopped paying attention to put this article out. I'm going to give you my quick and easy opinions in case you don't want to listen to the rest of what I am and you want to go into the comment section and insult me. And here's your fresh, easy way to do it. So, I do not agree with the female custodes, not because I care that there are females in my Warhammer. It's that I like Sisters of Silence, and female custodes are a competitor to that. They are a thing that will remove Sisters of Silence as a faction from getting anything in the future, because Games Workshop can easily and honestly totally get away with just adding a few optional heads into the Custodes who they were already probably in the midst of revamping their design anyways. So you, the person who cares really intently about there being female Custodes, will lose. And me, the person who wanted an actual female faction to get expanded because, hey, who cares if we don't get our peanut butter to the chocolate of the Custodes and the Sisters of Silence, because, hey, I actually want female factions that are in there and interesting, and you care if golden armor guys got optional heads. Yay, congratulations. Go off and enjoy the fruits of whatever insults you have. So everybody else, let's get to the article. Your questions answered. Let me be perfectly honest. The entire set of answers that they give to these questions are basically gaslighting, aka they're not being honest. So the first bit is you get, yes, some of the awesome, because you have to totally add that if something's awesome. New Custodes miniatures are female. Yay. Thank you, Games Workshop, old man. You finally figured out that everyone kind of figured this out already. Wow, great. So good. Glad you're really on the ball there, old man. Next thing he'll tell you is that he remembers the Charleston too. Anyways, is this a new thing? This is a weasel answer they're going to give, but I'm going to tell you what the correct version would be. Is this a new thing? Yes. It has only been recently done, and effectively it is almost like it was just added yesterday in terms of the history of Warhammer. The answer they actually give is, well, yes and no. Up until this point, all the LEGO Custodes that you've seen, I'm abbreviating a little bit, but it's up there for you guys to read, without helmets have obviously been male, but the rest were too armored to tell. BS. Because they're not depicted in any of the art. And if anybody remembers the really old art, they were going around shirtless. They were just bare-chested dudes with helmets. So, don't lie to me. Just tell me the truth. It is a new thing. Yes, we changed the lore. Moving on. Liars. Or at the very least, gaslighters. But hey, maybe they actually believe this. Benefit of the doubt. In my opinion, they're lying. So, have you changed the lore? ? I thought all Space Marines and Custodes were male. Do you know what this is, ladies and gentlemen? This is conflating lore so that you can avoid answering the question directly. Is that a car? Well, it has tires, and it has a gas engine that propels it forward through a very intense process. And did I tell you that it had a windscreen? Yeah, but it's a car. Well, yes, but it's actually an SUV, but that's okay, whatever. There they go. Space Marines, yes. So you're not getting Space Marines. They sell too well, guys. Sorry. Lore-wise, and then they go into a lore bit where they try to go into the whole thing about them, and they do the same with the Custodes, but they kind of muddle it around. And how would I have answered this question? Well, one, I would never work for the company, but if I had through some kind of traumatic brain injury, I would have said, have you changed the lore? Yes. And I would have said, and continued on with that and gone, and we've changed the lore for the Custodes so that it is no longer all males, but it's not changing for Space Marines because they're far too marketable and make way more money. And there you go. But aren't the Custodes made from the sons of Terran noble houses? It was a legal thing for me to say it that way. And this is another one of those gaslighting bits where they go, some of them are. Yes, the Emperor is all about symbolism and authority. You mean Fabio in golden armor cares about symbolism and authority? The Eagle Man? Eagle Jesus? Okay. So those pre-unification patriarchal houses had passed their kingdoms down to their firstborn sons, had those sons taken and remade into guardians of the Emperor. This is still true. Okay. So if it's true, how are you going to muddy it? But that was not the only source of recruitment. So there we are. So you changed it so that the main intake was the Custodes were drawn entirely from noble houses, and that's how the Emperor kept his connection with them, and Lord forbid they get some prestige from it. But now we can get some gutter kids. Cool. Other methods might have been equally overt. Others far more secretive. Metal Gear. Noble daughters could also have been taken, and at some point you run out of noble houses even after you've conquered all of Terra. Really? You know, they can make more. You know that, GW, right? That's how all of you were here. It's GW. They probably think there's a freaking price, at least to a mission. Even after you've conquered all of Terra, the inexorable war machine of the Imperium still requires a constant churn of recruits. Okay, that's called Space Marines and the Imperial Guard and the Sisters of Battle and the Sisters of Silence and all of those other myriad of institutions. The Custodes are a bodyguard. They do have other functions, but they're not supposed to be like overt military force marching around the universe. They do guard duty and security and play war games. You're not going to have such... This is like assuming that we just chuck special operators or spec ops out into a battlefield and they just get mowed down by the hundreds and we just have to churn them out. No, these guys are not going out into like normal conflicts unless something really bad has happened. They're going out and doing very special things. You're going to lose a few here and there, but what a bullshit answer. Well, let's just put it this way. The entire article could have simply been answered with, yes, those are female miniatures, that are female options who've been added. Yes, we've changed the lore. We apologize if this upsets you, but this is the new direction we're going. We hope that you'll stick with us, and maybe we can change your mind, or, hey, if it doesn't work, we'll see what happens from there. Instead, it was, well, we're going to revamp the miniatures anyways. We're not going to have to do any extra work. We can nip it in the butt and not have to work on this entire other female faction and just throw a couple token. And yes, they're tokenizing your politics if you really cared about female Custodes into a box and call it a day and give ourselves a bunch of backpacks and feel really great while we try to pilfer your wallet. And honestly, here's the thing. I don't care, because at this point, they've been new Warhammering Horus Heresy. I think it's stupid. I don't agree with it. I don't think that this should have been done. I think it's dishonest to people who like it. I think it's dishonest to people who don't like it. And I think that this is a very poor decision Games Workshop has been pushing out simply so that they can take advantage of a tiny little thing because of bad actors within their own companies pushing politics and to appease a very loud, very minor group of people. I'm not saying that they should be treated badly or anything. I'm just saying that this whole mess is just treating everyone badly. It's not being honest with anyone. It's not tackling the things. And it has no respect for the customer, no respect for the setting. And really, even if you disregard all that, it doesn't have any respect to gaining anything. There's nothing gained from it. I believe that this is just going to continue to be this annoying little blip in the background that they pull out every now and then to try to appease a group of people, while everyone else just kind of rolls their eyes from how annoying it is. And I just realized that the painting on the Guardian Spear for the one person, the blade's been painted gold because they didn't even paint it right. Oh, cool. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and if you want me to talk about any of the other releases, put a request in the comment section, and maybe I'll do a full-on video for that. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm going to be doing an upcoming series called Roughly. I'm not sure about the name just yet, but Warhammer without Games Workshop, where to start. And it'll be multiple parts. Hope you have a fantastic day, and bye-bye.